guys, welcome back to Gas Candy. So today, in the middle of February, we actually had a really nice day. Ended up being about 55 degrees today. We just got the Acura back from the garage. As you can see, it just passed emission and inspection. Hooray! So today we're going to do the final cleanup on it. Get the new floor mats in, get the dash pad in, seat covers put on, and then we're going to do a once over on the car just to knock off all the dirt that had accrued as we were putting miles on it to make sure that it would actually go through emission and inspection. Once you disconnect the battery and rehook it, you have to put so many miles on it so that all the codes, all the program, all the computers, they actually will reset and show that it's actually functioning the way it should. So everything went great. So today, like I said, we're just going to finish the cleanup and then get her out on the lot for sale. Stick with us. So anytime you disconnect the battery in one of these cars, all the computers are going to reset. You actually have to hook the battery back up and put miles on the car. It has to run for so long a time, it has to have so much load on it, and it has to have so much fuel in the tank for all the computers to reset back to factory specs. Once they get back to factory specs, that's how you can check it and actually make sure that they're functioning the way that they should function. If they're functioning any other way, it's not going to pass emission and inspection, and you're going to get a couple codes. We definitely got lucky on this. The codes were fine. It wasn't throwing any misfires. It wasn't throwing any weirdness. It actually went straight through, which we were very happy about. Finally, after all the shipping delays, the dash mat came in, the seat covers came in, and the floor mats came in relatively all at the same time. Even though I ordered them from completely different companies, they came in together, that was very nice too. I didn't have to wait much longer. I think we were at like a 2 to 3 week waiting period, which was just driving me crazy because these are all pretty simple items. But, you know, it is what it is. Keep pressing on. I definitely should have ordered some more sticky tack with the Velcro because the ones that are provided with the kit just didn't really do it any justice. So off camera we added a little more. Those things are incredibly sticky. That dash pad will never come off. Or if it does, it's going to take the dash with it. I really wanted to redo the seats, but the time frame that we were constricted to, this was kind of the best option. And anytime you're redoing a car to sell it, you got to kind of look at how much you're spending opposed to how much you could potentially make. This is definitely one of the more fun cars that we've had to redo. This thing will move. I never really thought I'd say that about a V6. I'm kind of like taken back by it, but we took this thing to a concert in Essex, Maryland, and we were on 95, I believe it was, and I looked down and I'm like, wow, I didn't feel like I was doing 80, but apparently I was. So she will get up and go no problem. So as we're washing the car, we already buffed it, so we don't have to go real crazy on it, but you definitely want to use the right soap. So right here we're using a basic wash wax.
that you can pick up at your local auto parts store. And we're using a little bit of bleach brightener for the rims. And I gotta be honest with you, I think that makes all the difference. The rims popping on this car, it just really sets it off. After Dave definitely worked his magic on this car, it was really hard to sell it. It just looked so good and it performed so well. I really had an internal struggle of, should I sell it or should I just keep it part of my fleet? But I think I'm up to like 8 cars already, and I don't know how the wife would feel if I brought another one home that I decided to keep. And I didn't want to spend any time on the couch to figure it out, so she had to go. The car, not my wife.
Hey guys, welcome back to Gas Candy. So if you checked out our last video, you'll see how we got the 6.0 out of the donor vehicle and got it on the engine stand. It took a little bit of doing, but with a little help from my wife and some hand tools and the good old fire wrench, it made pretty quick work of it. So we got it on the engine stand. We're in my shop today. Thank God, we were in the old man shop for a little while, but those videos are coming up. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to start stripping this thing down so we can make way for nice new shiny parts. I'm really excited because I've been wanting a 6.0 forever and I finally got one. So this is a big moment for me. I just need to, here come the vapors. No, I'm going to man up, but I am really excited about this. So we're going to wipe out the intake, that's coming off. We're going to save it because we have a few more LSs coming up. So we might save it for one of those builds. And we're basically going to get this thing down to what's considered a long block, and then we're going to see what kind of ports we have, what kind of heads we have, and we're just going to start narrowing everything down so we know exactly what to order and how much horsepower we're looking for and to get the right parts in the right combination. So stick around. The LS is finally here. Let's just tear into it. Yeah, that was awesome.
What the hell is this off of? Yo, you really f***ed some shit up. Really wish I knew what that went to.
Don't worry, I'm sure it's something important.
Of course. Why would it be? 8mm. Bring me an 8mm.
Alright guys, so quick tip. If you ever do decide to do this project, as you're taking it apart, make sure you keep every part that you take off. I cannot stress how important it is, because you never know what you're going to need, especially if you're moving forward and you're kind of doing it piece by piece like we are. So as we were taking this one apart, we made sure that we took apart the intake, the fuel rails, and the wiring harness that connects to the fuel rails to the actual injectors. We took all that off as one big piece and set it aside in a tub, and it's marked LS. I know, go figure, right? All the parts that we took off are being saved. As we got down further, we took the valve covers off. I'm going to reuse them, but I'm going to clean them up and paint them pretty blue so they match the Valiant, because I like to coordinate, as you can tell. This is our very first LS. This has been a big dream of mine for so long. And I was just so happy to have it. I was so happy to get it. I've ran big blocks, small blocks. I've never had an LS, and they are just so easy to tear down, so easy to come apart. It was incredible. It was like night and day. Being that this is the first LS, we figured we'd put it in something special. So I have the 66 Valiant that we're going to stuff it in. We're basically building the car from the ground up. We bought it as a shell. So it is fully caged. It's got an 8-point cage in it. It does have Lexan glass windows, and it's got a couple fiberglass pieces on it, and it's got a little mini tub on it so I can fit a nice fat tire under the rear. The fuel cell was already in it, but all the electronics are coming out because they were designed for a big block Chrysler, not a small block LS. And I know there's plenty of Chrysler guys out there ready to rev their pencils up to send me some delicious hate mail, but I gotta be honest with you. If I could go to the junkyard right now and find a Hellcat engine for $1,000 to stick into the Valiant, I'd buy it. I'm also going to run a 2-speed Power Glide transmission behind it with a trans brake. If I can get the front wheels to leave the ground at all, yeah, you'll see me dancing in the pits. Now that we're down to the heads, I'm noticing that the 317 heads, which it's not a bad head. It's a really good truck head. It's a really good low torque head, but we're running at a high RPM range because we're just using it for drag racing. So they're not going to be the best head for the application that we're using them for, but I'm going to save those too because you never know, they might come in handy further down the line. Like I said, we have a few more LSs coming up, so we're definitely going to save off every piece that we can and see what we can put together out of the parts that we have, or if one part can't come in, we'll just steal it off the part bin. After we got the heads off, we were looking at the insides of it, of the cylinder walls, and it still had the factory hash marks. I mean, these motors, they just hold up so good from factory. It was pretty incredible. Even the turning assembly, everything functioned perfect. No complaints. We're still going to go through the bottom end once we get the oil pan that's going to go on it so that we can actually start test fitting, and we're going to double check everything. But as we got the top end off, I didn't have any complaints.
Well, guys, there you have it. We have a 15 millimeter, a 16 millimeter, a 10, an 8, and I think we used an 11, oddly enough. You can take one of these apart. It actually wasn't that hard. I was pleasantly surprised. This definitely came apart a lot easier than any other motor I've taken apart in the past. I really think that LS is going to be the future of our shop. Definitely have a few more applications that we can put this to. Very excited for it. Heads didn't weigh much. I did find out that they were the 7, what was the number?
317.
They were the 317 heads, not the 706s that were that are more desirable, but I think they'll work just fine. I'm definitely going to look them up and find some specs on them. We still have some parts that we're waiting to get on this, but I didn't want to wait any longer. I'm like a kid at Christmas. I really just wanted to get this thing tore down so that I can start ordering more parts for it. Once the parts come in, we'll definitely keep you guys up to date on it. We'll keep going with it. We're going to redo the heads, springs, throw a cam in an intake carburetor, new oil pan, and just a lot of, go fast parts. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And then once we get it all together, we're going to try to shoot it down to a buddy of mine's shop and see if we can't get it dynoed on the stand before we actually put it into the car. So, definitely stick around. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on everything that we're getting ready to put out. Like I said, this LS, my dad's Big Block, Dave's Beretta, the Monte Carlo, the Valiant, the 40, the Chevy, the 40 Chevy, just cachet slew of cool projects coming up. Race season's rapidly approaching, so there's going to be a lot of videos where it's going to keep them going, keep you guys entertained, and thanks for sticking with us. I really appreciate it. If this is your first time, welcome to the channel. But until next time, again, thank you guys, and we'll see you later.